All righty. Hello. All right, I said I would come on for a quick, and I do mean quick, Q&A. Had to take a little breather after my absolutely amazing. Thank you for everyone who joined us live. What's the plan strategy session? You can still get the playback of that. Ran longer, but hey, and I wasn't even worried about this thing longer because even once I ended, it was quite a few of them, more than like half. It was like only a few people dropped off who were still on afterwards. So that means y'all didn't want to leave me from that session. So that was amazing. I mean, a lot of great information. The feedback from them that was in it was just absolutely amazing. So had to take a little breather after that session because it ended up being 3 hours. It ended up being 3 hours and some change because and then like some of them stayed on a little bit later afterwards, but officially probably about like 3 hours or so, which I planned for like 2 really, an hour and a half and then 30 minutes of Q&A and 30 minutes of the writing down your plans and things like that. So when I was on late earlier talking about the 4 stages of business, there were a few general questions that came in. So I said, before I leave the office and head back home, let me go live real quick just to answer some, if you guys have questions. This would be my first Saturday live of 2023-65. So I wanted to also kind of do that because to get that first one out of the way within the first week. So it's our first Saturday live and I'm here to help. So we're going to go ahead and do our little intro. And then we're going to go ahead and start answering some questions. Okay. If you have questions, go ahead, start writing them out. You don't have to wait for me to kind of get to it. I scroll through the questions to be able to answer those. All right. So, as I am, I forgot I have to change the, what is this thing called? The privacy on this post. So let me edit the audience and make it public so I can see your comments. If you're watching over on Shakia Lavelle's Facebook profile. And then I'm going to also hit share on this. All right. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. I am Shakia, the professor of HSINK365. We are a company that sells the most amazing sublimation ink and paper combination. That's our Honestly Speaking brand. We also have pigment ink, which is great for stickers, labels, print and cuts, and things like that. We have some other accessories such as chip resetters and heat tape. And, this year we will be expanding the offerings of the Honestly Speaking brand. And then we have Silaholics Anonymous, which is my online, it's still a business for me because, hey, I get money from my Facebook page as well as YouTube. If you guys don't know, little sidebar, if you have a YouTube or a Facebook and you think that you will have the potential to really generate income, definitely set up a separate account, maybe even a business account for it, even if it's just like an account that is just a separate one so you're not commingling, because when it comes to tax purposes and keeping up with certain things, like it can get kind of crazy. So that is still a business, although it is free content to you guys and I get money based off of the ads and things like that. It's still a business. So I still consider that to be, one of that's my starter business. I started this 7, now we're going to our 8 years of teaching you guys Silhouette Studio and how to use the Cameo machines for a wide variety of things. Like I've done so many things with Silhouette Studio and my Cameo machines that most people haven't really touched on or didn't think that you could really use it for that. And I've been teaching that since version 3 over on YouTube and Facebook. So a lot of great content that you guys have access to for free. We also have 365 Creative Academy, which is my online academy where we go in depth into these different things. You kind of get hands-on. You're able to ask questions in real time. I give so much in my live sessions. I really try to leave no stone unturned. So that's just a little bit about who I am. I am well versed in all things print, which is why we have the Ink Credible. It's not just a name like based off of our line HS Ink, but it's, you know, the Ink Credible part is the majority of what I do is based off of things that require ink, whether it's dye ink, regular pigment ink for stickers, labels, what's those things called? Invitations, menu cards, print and cuts, 3D things, custom boxes. So I'm using regular ink. Then we do, you know, we do sublimation. I have laser printers. I have now have an EcoSolve, a true EcoSolve. Before I would still do ink, I would outsource it, but banners and decals and stuff like that. So eco-solvent printing, we've done some, we don't do them, but as far as like just using DTF prints, that's ink, DTG, screen printing. So my world is full of ink. So I'm always making ink credible boss moves, and you guys as well. The majority of my audience are people who are using some sort of ink incorporated in their business and not just vinyl or adhesive vinyl, which is where I kind of was when I first started too with my cameos. But yeah, that's just a little bit who I am. I know Epson printers like the back of my hand. I do a lot of detailed videos about Epson printers. So if you have those questions, feel free to ask. Help along the business line as far as understanding your marketing or inventory and pricing. Most times like those are done in sessions where I can get a little bit more information to give you guidance, like the session we did today and some of the other ones we have coming up. But I'm well-rounded. Event planner, event decorator. So if you have questions along those lines, I am here to help. So with that being said, let's get into it, guys. All right, so let's see if we have, let's say hello to a few folk, and then let's see if we have a question on the floor. Hello, everyone over on TikTok. Feel free to ask questions. You guys don't have a playback, although you can watch the playback that's recording and streaming onto YouTube right now. So if you're not able to write down the answer to your question, like from here, or if it goes too fast, because your girl do talk fast sometimes, feel free to go ahead over to the YouTube channel to watch the playback of this video. But definitely, guys, ask your questions. I am here to help. I love questions. I love the engagement of it. So do not hesitate to ask questions, as well as, whoa, we are already at 1,000 likes. And what? So we didn't even talk about nothing. Thank you. I don't know who over there is tapping away, but I thank you. Now, last time, I was like quite a few people. We were still stuck at like 300. How we get to 1,000 already? Oh gosh, I love it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for the follow. I didn't even said anything, and I already got a couple of follows. Creative Twist, thank you for the follow. God, oh, thank you so much for that. Healthy lives. Oh, and I'm a recycler. My family hates the fact, like the other day, I was like, who put this stuff in the garbage can? I was going out picking stuff out the garbage can, putting it in the recycling bin. So I'm big on the recycle. All right. I did not hit share. So let me go ahead and hit share. What questions do you have for the professor, or as some people like to say, the dean? I got a new keyboard, and I tell you, I think it's crazy that I really think my last keyboard, because I waste something on it, is what was messing with my computer, where it would like glitch. I just did a 4-hour session, and not one time did it freeze up on me. It didn't glitch. So I really think it was my last wireless keyboard that was messing with stuff. We're going to see if I freeze during this one. But I mean, just typing on it, just feel brand new. Like, I mean, the keys don't stick. It's amazing what a new piece of equipment will do for your confidence and just how you operate. So I did get it, and I'll tell you what I love about this one. Sometimes I'll end up seeming like I'm screaming at y'all because I don't realize that the caps lock is on, and then not knowing like if my battery's running low. So like this one has like this little LED screen, or like this like little screen here where it tells me how much battery life. When I hit the caps lock, it pops up at the top. It tells me I got my numbers locked on. I was like, oh, yes, God. I like that. Just like that one little feature right there. I was like, yes. And I got like a better, because I'm always using my mouth. So like one of the more aerodynamic like mouses in your arm, your thumb just kind of cups in there. So I went and treated myself to a little new keyboard situation. I still like Logitech, if you can't tell. I even have this actual camera that I'm on is also Logitech, but I also have my favorite ones are my face cams. But this is the brand I'm addicted to. All right, so I copied that. You teach people how to start a business. Yes, I do. Share to a group. Now, I think I used my @everyone already in one of my groups. I don't remember which one, but I'm still going to go and do this @everyone. If you know, oh, I got to change the rules of this group to let y'all know. Your girl does use the @everyone responsibly, but I do use @everyone, especially for times like this. This is our first live Q&A for 2023-65. If you're wondering why I'm saying it that way, this is the year of HSINK. That's how I see it, because our brand numbers are 365. Our paper, you can sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. So before I used to always say, this live broadcast is brought to you by the letters HSINK and the number is 365. I used to do that all the time, but 365 and then 30, so 0 are our brand numbers. So this year it's like every time I say it, 2023, 65. Okay, so let's go @everyone and go like that. And I got to do one more group because I was sharing to other places, but now I got to do the @everyone in each group. So, let's go to my student union and @everyone on this one. @everyone. Ooh, don't know how to spell every. Boom. All right, there we go. So let's see. Thank you for sharing. Someone says I can't get it. Did we or did we not just have an amazing session, y'all? Like they literally hung out. They stuck with your girl for 3 hours and then didn't want to leave. I had to let them know I'm about to go now. Okay, I'm about to kick y'all out. I got to go take a breather. I said I was gonna do this Q&A. They were not trying to leave. Okay, we even had like a little session afterwards, and they answered some questions that's not on the playbacks. You had to be there to get those gems that were dropped after the recordings were stopped. So let's see. Hello, how are you? Hey, just say hello. I knew it would be great, just wasn't ready for this yet. I'm telling you, it was great. It would have been great prep for you. Like you may think that you probably weren't ready for that information, but getting that, remember I said the start is getting that information and learning how to put it together and process it. It would have helped you because you want to move into that. Writing down ideas and making realistic plans. We talked about some ways that you can start off, like with using Excel spreadsheets or Google, like Google Suites and stuff like that. So there was a lot of great information in that session. The playback is always still available. Hello. Thank you for joining. Hey. Hello, Professor. Happy 2023-65. Just started text effects class. Where should I direct questions? You have what's called the student union. So it should be there. If it's not, send me an email. But if you go into your dashboard, I tried to go in and make sure I added to everything. One of the things that we did starting at the end of last year and like really preparing for this year is if you take any class of mine, you get access to the student union. That way you can ask questions over there. So go into your dashboard and look inside the chapters and see if you see the one that says student union. Yes, I've been there from the beginning. I've learned so much from the incredible professor. Thank you. I brought single-sided line font with a glyph. They are not visible when I click on it to look, but if I just click on the box and the glyph, it shows up. Just can't tell what it will be before clicking on it. You mean in Silhouette Studio, you mean? Hey, hey, hey. Hi, Aquisha. Incredible evening. I know, right? Them likes went up, girl. We had 3,000. Oh, well, 2 now. I'm rounding up to 3,000. Yes. Let's see. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you for sharing. Nice keyboard. Thank you. That's nice. Shared Facebook, YouTube. Wait, Facebook and the YouTube link. Thank you for the support. You missed it. Okay, look. If you missed my other live on the 4 stages of business, definitely go check that out. Someone over here that says, you know, as far as like wanting to grow my business, but I don't know how to. That live video just might help you really define where you're at, because for me, the 4 stages are to start, build, grow, and scale. And that video, I kind of somewhat broke it down as far as under my definition. You know, you may not want to, may not subscribe to how I think, but how I break it down and how it's helped me in business, I broke that down. So you can go over to my YouTube channel, Honestly Speaking, and that video, that playback is there. Tell you, it'll bless your life just with that one. And then if you want to kind of dive into it a little bit more, we have the So What's the Plan? You'll get the playback now. A lot of great nuggets in it. And you can get that as well and just watch the playback of that session. I'm bummed, just got home from working. I miss all the good stuff. I'm upset I missed it. You can still get the playback. So in Silhouette, I'm going to go over here to see if I can kind of what you're talking about as far as not seeing them. That's why I'm here to learn how you think. And thank you. Thank you for that. Oh, you don't understand how that blesses my soul. All right. I need help starting. I make shirts, but I want to grow. All right. So what type of shirts do you make? Are you doing vinyl shirts, sublimation? Do you purchase transfers? What type of shirts? And then also, I think I mentioned in the other one as well, there's different ways and different classifications for shirts, right? You have those who want to make custom shirts, which means every single design is darn near different. And you have to be quick with the designing process, and you're catering it to each person, which means if you're doing those and you're personalizing shirts, I hope it has a personalized price tag to it. Then you have ones where it's kind of like custom, but it's more like, I call those like novelty shirts. They're still kind of custom because you're not going to necessarily find them in stores. It's different from what you find in store, because as creatives, like we don't go cookie cutter, right? You may find someone that created a file and it really stands out compared to big businesses. They're going to do some very generic cookie cutter stuff. So you may go and purchase a file and you can make it on demand for someone. Like they can get it. Maybe they like a design, but in a store, they're only going to have it maybe on just a red shirt or a short sleeve shirt. Maybe somebody wants it on a long sleeve shirt. They want that design on like in every color of the rainbow, right? That's something that is kind of customized, but like on the novelty side, where you're not creating new designs for everyone. You may end up getting, let's say, transfers, and you're just wanting to make that available to your audience because you're going to get the transfers, and all you're going to do is just press it to shirts, and they can basically order and get those on demand, and you're not doing a lot of custom designs. Then you're going to have keepsake things. If you want to do a lot of like, even though it's custom, like baby shower or reveal shirts or graduation, things where it's like milestones or momentous moments in people's lives. Then you're going to have people who do branded. So I don't want to I want to do shirts. I want to start a t-shirt business. but I'm going to do design specifically for me. I'm trying to build a brand. I gave the example of we have HS Ink designs for my Black Pledge. We have Imperfectly Qualified. They have a brown, a particular brand, and their shirts say Imperfectly Qualified, kind of like your Nike and things like that. So there's a couple different ways to break down those shirts and what it is that you're doing and what you want to grow in. Well, also part of that is, are you doing to end consumer, like just regular consumers? Do you want to be able to specialize in making shirts for businesses? Do you want to grow to where I might start off doing one-offs, but my ultimate goal is to book contracts for schools, for sports teams, to do all of theirs. So I'm going to research mass production options as far as either printers or transfers and things like that. So there's no one size fits all. And it may be a lot to intake, which is why that starting stage is so important, to break down all of these different methods, all of these different ways that things can go, and make a plan to say, okay, I want to start here. My goal is to get here, and be realistic on whether or not that goal is going to happen in 6 months, a year, or even a 5-year plan to get to a point where you're doing everything that you want to do in-house versus outsourcing it. So I will never, ever give you a cookie cutter, making it seem like you can conquer the world and all you have is one printer and one cutting machine. Like, that's just not realistic. So once you learn from me and just kind of listen to me or book a session with me, join in my classes, it will really help you narrow down and be as successful as you can with what stage you're in. Is there a formula on, I'll lower this. Is there a formula on how to do pricing? I don't want to undercharge, but I don't want to overcharge either. Whether you are undercharging or overcharging is really up to you, right? And how much you're wanting to make. In order to determine what's going to be the right price, you have to look at several factors before you even set your prices. How much product are you able to push out? If you have a job, if you have kids, how much free time do you actually have to actually pump out products? Not including what it's going to take for you to market, you taking time to post on social media, you taking time that's just for you to scroll on social media. Then you're the one that has to pack it and ship it because you don't have any help. What available time do you really have to create actual product? And do you have a realistic goal for how much you're wanting to make? If you're just starting off, you can't go and say, hey, I want to make 6 figures. That's just unrealistic, especially if you're doing it by yourself. Are there people that will say, yep, well, I did it. It's not unrealistic. I did it. It's not going to be the norm. There are going to be some cases where, hey, they hit a lick at the right time. Hey, it worked for them. But on average, especially when you're learning how to do this, it's going to be really hard to just go and hit 6 figures right out the gate. If you have a job and that job takes care of your bills, or let's say it doesn't, and what you really need is to find the middle ground, then you don't have to go and be so aggressive with pricing or trying to put out so many things, because you have a realistic goal. Like, I have this job. It's, I'm making this amount. I want to be able to save for X, Y, and Z, or I need to help make ends meet. And this is the dollar amount that I need each month in order for me to really thrive and survive. That's going to be your starting point. And then once you go from there, it's like, okay, what can I produce in this time frame to be able to hit this number? Like, I need to profit. There's a difference between how much you charge and how much you profit. Two totally different things. Some people will set a price, right? But they like a price, y'all got the same product. Theirs might be up here and yours is kind of here. And you might feel like, well, man, I'm undercharging, but you really don't know what their overhead is, because you have maybe minimized your overhead. You are planning smartly. You are really focused on like your signature products to where you can order your products more effectively and efficiently. And you're not buying onesies and twosies of things and overspending for your blanks or shirts or vinyl, you're buying it by the sheet versus the roll. They're charging a lot of money, but it's probably because you're buying stuff by the sheets. So their pricing is up here. Yours is right here. But your profit margin for both of you is probably about here because they probably have way more overhead than you do. So they need to charge that higher price. It's going to take for you to break down your business. What is your overhead? Are you paying? What programs are you paying for? Because as you sell things, the revenue that you make should be paying for things like your Canva subscription or your Photoshop subscription, your Creative Fabrica one. If you are using Google Drive, it's paying for that. These are all things that are part of business that most people don't think of, and they affect how you price your overhead. I will say for our products, we are able to provide our quality sublimation paper at a price that's lower than the average US seller. Now, I can't compete with those folks who are selling it direct from China, who are on Amazon. They don't abide by like our tax rules and stuff like that. They're overseas. They send their product. They let Amazon take 15%, 20% because it's FBA. Amazon shipping it out. They're like, hey, whatever I can get is what I can get because I'm not doing any work. I'm on a platform. The platform is doing all the work for me. People are going to search. I don't have to have a Facebook group. I don't ever have to do a video because it's so cheap. All these people are going to be in the Facebook groups and saying, go get this brand. Oh, it's way cheaper than all these other people who they charge too much. It's the same. But what you don't get from those companies is a group to get help. When you have issues, you're relying on groups and stuff like that, right? I can't compete with some of their prices because they don't have overhead and they don't have the cost of living that we have here. But for US-based sellers, we have some of the best, if not the best price point because of things like, I know some of you guys may want to have the name and stuff on the back. That costs more money to brand the back. And it's not necessarily needed. Like branding the back more so will help me than it'll help you. Once you're kind of using a product and you get used to it, you'll know maybe the first couple of times you probably won't, you'll get frustrated. But after a while, it'll be like clockwork with you putting that paper in and knowing front from the back. The back side of it is more so for me. When you go do a live video, you do something, you're pressing it, people are seeing, oh, that was HS ink. Let me go buy that paper. It ain't really for you, but it will cost us more money. So if I have to pay for that to go on the back, guess who's going to take that hit? Not me. Y'all are going to, as a consumer, going to take that hit. We can get a nice, pretty box for you to go and throw in the garbage or throw in the recycle bin. Or we can keep it in our nice, just regular plastic package where we're not paying extra for this additional box that really serves no purpose other than keeping it in there and it goes in the trash. So I am able to we are able to keep our prices at a very affordable rate for a quality product because we eliminated all of the extras that will cost you, the consumer, more. So other people may have looked at our prices and think that, oh, she's trying to undercut us. But what you don't know is like overhead. We worked out of our home for the first 1 3/4 year of us having a product. So we didn't have much overhead. We had a storage unit. We didn't have to worry about rent as far as a building and extra, like paying a separate utility bill. We've grown now, and now we have to take it on because now we have a dedicated space, but we didn't have that overhead before. So there's a lot of things that really go into it. My Profit by the Numbers program, which is a part of my creative business, I will bring that back because we break it down. Like I had I remember one class, she was like, oh, no, I'm okay with that number. Like we broke it down so much, and she thought that she was maybe doing something wrong, and I broke it down, and she's like, oh, wait, I have the ability to make that much money in just this small time. So it's really, really about just understanding the business that you want to do, understanding how much time and what profit margin you want to make. So I don't give cookie cutter answers. Let's see. But I do have a formula. Unfortunately, it is taught to my creative business students. I don't fully talk about it on live. Just know that it is not that whole materials times 3. I have my students account for their overhead, an hourly wage based off of you are beginner. So like a beginner salary for certain things to a more advanced one. Our machines get paid a certain amount every time. I teach my students to plan ahead for staff because you don't want to get it to where you're afraid to hire staff because you feel like you're going to lose money. You've already built that into the cost of your product. I mean, it's so many different factors that go into business. Now, if it's just a side hustle for you, you just need a little mad money, whatever the cost is, the materials. If you want to just add on a little something that's for you, you can operate business that way. But to run a business, all of those things are a factor. I purchased a used converted 7710, then changed my converted 2720 back to regular ink. Can I use your pigment ink to refill the 2720? Well, the 2720 really comes with dye ink. It's not pigment ink. I personally don't care for the color output. For some, they feel like, well, it ain't that big of a deal. I can only speak for me. I don't care for the color output with putting pigment ink in there for actual like custom jobs. Now, we did have one that had pigment ink, but that was just for internal use for printing out invoices or packing slips and things like that. And we had it in there so that if it got wet, it doesn't run. But I personally would never use it for actual like print jobs. But you can use it if you're using pigment ink in it. If you're not and you're using dye-based ink, you're going to have to drain that and convert it again because you're switching the ink. Does anyone have an inventory system? Are you looking for something that is free or are you looking for something that is paid, like something you have to pay for to have it? Not if it's paid, you have to pay for it. Something that is automated for you. That's the word I was looking for, not paid for. Are you looking for something that is free, it's going to require work, or something that you have that's automated for you? Great advice on pricing. You cover a lot, including overhead, investing in yourself, like Creative Fabrica, and covering classes. Yeah, especially those classes. I priced today with a lower profit for a customer who's getting my items and my name out to the community. That's great because then you're basically being paid for your marketing. So when I do stuff like that to where I'm technically like getting less money, if it's going to benefit me more, at that point, I'm actually getting paid for marketing versus me paying for marketing, if that makes sense. I will add my profit once the numbers come in. I have a career job that pays the bills. I'm working on my side hustle to get me a bit of money and cover itself. Okay. I had my official first sale. Yay! Well, the shop today, so excited. I am excited for you. My print head cleaner will be here tomorrow. I might have some questions. I hope it brings my reds back. If you have not tried so yet, like before that comes, go and Google a picture of Skittles. And this is something I teach in all of my Sublimation 101 classes because they have so many different colors in there. And you never know if it is something that you put in, like you put in the wrong color code, or if the designer put in the wrong color code, or if it's something with your colors. One of the ways that you can test it, especially being the fact that you have a pigment ink printer, EcoTank printers are a little bit different. You're going to get some color shift. But with yours, Google Skittles, like, and get the bag. And that's going to be a true red. Print that out, sub it to some type of scrap fabric, and see how those reds come out. If those are really, really dark, then yeah, you have some. The fact that your blue was not printing, it was not transferring. Pigment ink would have given you a yellow tint. You had nothing. Somehow some dye ink, like normally only dye ink kills sublimation ink. It was just so crazy to see that like it printed out and nothing transferred. That normally only happens for dye ink. I know you said that you had it somehow mixed up your ink, but that was just so crazy because even with pigment ink, you should have at least had some transfer. It would have been yellow. So it might be where you have to drain everything and flush it out to get those colors right, especially if that red Skittles comes out wrong. That lets you know for sure it's something within your ink. And it may not just be your magenta one. You may have to just go ahead and drain red and yellow, since we already did the cyan. You may have to drain the magenta and the yellow to be able to get those colors to come out right. Feel free to ask your questions over on TikTok. Don't just be listeners, and be active participants. So definitely ask questions over here. Yes, I went home, got some rest, woke up. I actually did not have to take medicine for that one. Got some rest and I was good. Yes, congratulations. I'm trying to go online and I'm a little worried about what to put on the website. Are you trying to do an e-commerce like website to where people can order from there? Or do you want just a web page that explains what your business does and you want to have your contact information on there? All right. If you're wanting it automated, well, I know for me, we pretty much use our Shopify for that. You can also manage your inventory and your finances through things like QuickBooks. I'm trying to remember the one that Eric from Blank Spot, that one, if it's something for business, it probably has something in there for inventory, because I remember him saying not quite QuickBooks. They don't use it, but he said, that's an option. But I can tell you QuickBooks does have inventory in it, and it's something, of course, you have to pay into. Those are the only ones I can really speak of I can really speak of, because we've used QuickBooks and we also do inventory control through our Shopify site. Outside of that is what I kind of talked to them about today, which is using Excel or Google spreadsheets to maintain and keep track of your inventory. But that means that you would have to go in and physically put those numbers in and reconcile it daily, weekly, or bi-weekly. I would love to learn how to organize my files. Trying to go back in to organize files that are already just sitting on your computer can be an undertaking. Kind of the same way, I can't even show you because I'm on TikTok on my phone. But today in the class, in the session, I was showing them, even with my photos, like I've created albums to be able to put things in to make them easier to find. You can start to do that with your files. So maybe sit down and think about like how you want to organize them. Do you want to, and organizing them really is more beneficial when you don't have a bunch of stuff all over the place, right? Because let's say backgrounds. It's really hard to like say, okay, these are Christmas ones, because you can use them for something else. Or if you have elements that's like a star, you may have purchased it for this birthday stuff, but it can be used interchangeably. So you can either group things based off of like where you purchased it from. That's one of the things that I do. So when I download it, when I extract it, I go to browse, I send it to that particular folder to say that it came from Creative Fabrica or Design Bundles or Etsy or whatever. And then in there, you have to not just want to click download. I download and try to extract, and then I'll create a folder for it. So you can do that going forward. Whenever you download something, create a folder right then and there. And then over time, you can organize the rest of them. Give yourself prioritize, whether it's 10 minutes a day, 30 minutes, like a week or whatever day you want. I was telling them my day is Sunday to go through my phone and separate my pictures. It's going to take time for all the files, especially if you have files from years and years and years. And you really have to think about how you want to organize them. One of the things that I do now for the files that aren't in folders, I do long names. So if it is something that I am designing, I save ish with the longest name in the world. I am very descriptive in how I name it so that when I need to go search for it, I can type it in. So I love the search bar. And if you're keeping your things like in specific folders, you can go to that folder, just do the search so it can come up. that's some of the things that I do. So it's not necessarily being completely organized with putting them in specific folders, but I do try to be very, very detailed with how I save them. So hopefully that helps. She says, my files are a mess. What's the best converted Epson printer in my opinion? Who? That was a bit of a loaded question because there really isn't a great printer anymore. Give me a second. Okay. So, oh, she says, note, grab a pick of Skittles for True Red to test your red from your printer. Yes. Glad that you wrote a note and it's on there for everyone to see and come back to and remember it. Thank you for doing that. All right. So, yes, congratulations. Oh, she says Square. I'm not into Square. So she says Square has inventory parameters and like, I guess a way to do your inventory as well in Square. Okay. So printers, back in the day when it was like the 7710, 7720, because you can reset the cartridges, it was like, reset the chips. You can print 13 by 19. They're affordable. That was like the best one. I am not an advocate for EcoTank printers. I've laid out the pros and cons based off of like my needs and what I prefer. I'm not one that feels like EcoTanks are the best option. A lot of the bigger printers still use cartridges, or they use like ink system. There might be a bulk ink system like the bags, but it's not necessarily like tanks and things. And sometimes those can clog. I'm not big on EcoTanks. Now, converting them, because the EcoTanks use dye inks and sublimation is closer to a pigment ink profile, your color shift is, I don't like the color shift. I don't like how like my brand colors comes out when I'm using an EcoTank printer. They come out so much darker, and I have to create specific color codes just for like, if I know I'm going to print out on that one, I have to change that color code. So I'm not big on EcoTank printers for that reason. If something should go wrong with them, doing the maintenance on them is a bit too much for my liking, with having to like try and push air through the actual, like take it apart, lift it up, pushing air through the directly to the print head, which means you're either going to have to still push more ink through it because you dried it out by just trying to push the air. If you push fluid through it, you're clearing out the ink in there. You're going to have to push more ink through it. It's a lot. Whereas with workforce or cartridge-based printers, you push air and ink, so you're keeping your print head wet. It's still the ink that's through there. So the maintenance part of it, to me, is a lot easier with a workforce printer. Downside of it, though, is, and also workforce printers are less expensive. Downside now is the workforce printers that are out now, there is no reset option for it. You have to keep buying chips. And unfortunately, the chips can work in one printer and not another. So it's a crapshoot with figuring that out. And some people just don't like the thought of ordering something and it doesn't work. So I think out of all the EcoTank printers, if I had to pick one as far as like color and efficiency, it's going to be the one that's going to cost you $1,000, which is the 16600 and 16650. So that would be the only EcoTank that I would actually feel comfortable recommending. I don't like any of the others. I guess I'm asking, do I put all that I do on there or just the more requested items? If you have like, when it comes to that and you're trying to figure that part out, eventually you can word it in a way and either direct people to like see pictures of other things, because it's going to be really hard to put like everything on there, especially if you're doing customs. If you're doing birthday shirts, it's not going to be the same birthday shirt for every person. It's going to be the same colors, but you can have an option on there that just says custom, and then you have a system in place where they're going to contact you to discuss that custom order. If you don't have like a set standard, like a set a standard set of designs. Like I watch like TikTok, because a lot of people who they do not do like customs. They go out and find designs that speak to them, that they feel like may resonate with their audience, and they'll have those. So if you want something, you're picking from these particular designs, and that's what they have on their website. But if you're just going and it's like everybody's is custom, you're going to have to create listings for that. I would recommend that your first picture be very like they're all the same, and it looks aesthetically pleasing on the front, so where it's not like a mock-up of this one, but then it's a real picture. Like if you're going to put all mock-ups on the front, put all mock-ups on the front. If you want it to be real pictures, when you take a picture of it, they all should have the same background, or at least be taken on a background where you can remove the background in a program and put the same color background. But it should just really be aesthetically pleasing. And then once they get into the product, you can have other pictures that will show, like, you know, a birthday shirt from this person, so they can just kind of see a quick example. And you're just going to put, when you're designing them, that's the thing, when you're doing pictures and stuff like that, it's not please guys, if you don't do anything else, please don't do this. Please do not take a picture and then automatically upload it to your website. It needs to be edited. Whether you do it or somebody else does it, your pictures for your website needs to be edited, meaning they're all going to be cropped down to about the same size, or like proportion, like the same proportions. If you're going to add something to it, you know, something that just says like, okay, you can make something similar to this, but this is not the exact design. And your listing is just for them to book you for the custom shirt. And you have information on there that's going to say how to contact you to go over these details. I don't do the whole upload your pictures on the website. I think it's a whole other story about that. Maybe have a email system connected with it, so where once somebody places that order, it will automatically send them the information sheet. They fill that out, they email it to you. You can discuss it, come up with so you have to have your systems and processes in place if you're going to have a bunch of different items. That's one thing I can say, like if you have a bunch of random customs where everybody's getting a totally different design. On my HS Ink design site, we have different offerings, but it's all 3 designs, and that's it. Yes, I did design this shirt in Silhouette Studio. This is my I got one of the symbols from my business. So Incredible comes, well, the ink and the way that is, I designed my whole logo. Where my paper went? Now say what now? Oh, here it is. So this is our brand. So as you can see, our logo already has the ink like that. That's our icon for the drip. And so then, of course, the boss moves, designing silhouette, and cut out from there. This is all flock vinyl. So, but I did design this because I designed my logo. I'm asking, is there a niche for the website, if that makes sense? So if you're a niche, this, oh my gosh, we need to have a whole live video on this whole concept of niching. If your niche is gifts, right? You want to have words that's going to speak to the fact that you're trying to convince other people to buy your products as a gift for someone else. If your niche is customized apparel, if your niche is keepsakes. Oh, is she finna water the grass this late at night? My mother's moving my truck. If your niche is going to be keepsakes, you're going to have things on your site that basically speaks to that these are keepsake items, because keepsake items normally come with the higher price tag. If your niche, like if you're doing all sports things, then of course, it doesn't matter if you have tumblers, shirts, plaques, window clings. If it's all sports, it's all sports. So it just really depends on how you're trying to define, market, and brand your business. Let's see. right over there. My sublimation printer is printing darker green as more blue than green, but light green prints fine. Does that mean there's something wrong with my magenta? Which printer do you have? And have you done a nozzle check? Fastest way to know there's something wrong with a specific color is do a nozzle check. A nozzle check is the very first thing that you should do if you suspect that there's an issue with your colors, something is not printing out correctly. A nozzle check is the first thing that you should do. I'm looking for my chapstick because my lips are so dry and they're starting to crack. Also, let me close this. Oh, yeah. But yes, a nozzle check is how you test colors, not a printhead cleaning, just a nozzle check. And it'll tell you if there's an issue with the color. And if all colors are firing off and you don't have any breaks or missing colors, then it's going to be either the design, it's going to be your monitor is playing games with you. Your mind's playing tricks on you because your monitor will make it seem like it should be darker or brighter and it shouldn't. And then if you're using an EcoTank printer, again, your colors are going to be off. Certain colors will always be off. I want to inform you now until I have the means to pay monthly subscriptions to upgrade. So that way, I want to inform for now until I have the means to pay monthly subscriptions to upgrade so that customers can pay from the website. Okay, so like when you set up Google, like you can do what's called a one pager, and it just really talks about your company, what it is that you offer. You can put a few pictures on there, and then you can let them know how to contact you to order. If you're going to do it that way, make sure that you are very strategic in how you set up your social media platforms. I'm not big on Instagram, but you can use Instagram as like an instant portfolio. So your business will pretty much talk about who you are. And then you can use your Instagram as an instant portfolio, again, even with those, if you want it to be a portfolio, when you take pictures or bring pictures in, try to edit them down where it's aesthetically pleasing when you look at it, and put it on there so that way they can kind of see a snapshot of the quality of work that you do. You will not be able to rely on a lot of mock-ups, and that, like with stuff like that, people are going to want to see the actual products that you have created. She said, if you missed the Zoom, you missed out on a treat. Really, really did. Yes, I started organizing my files where I have gotten them from Etsy design bundles and etc. It does make it easier. Where'd you get that tip from? Hello, Professor. I'm just joining the chat. I don't have any questions yet. You are the GOAT in the crafting and printing field. I thank you so much for that. I need help setting a website up on Shopify. Contact me. So I am a Shopify partner. If you go through me and we set that up, I don't build your Shopify for you. I do not. I will guide you on all the things that you would need, where if you're going to create your thumbnails or have someone else do it, where to find elements. But I do help you with how to set it up. One, you get access to my Shopify course, which we are doing a new one. The old one is not available anymore. We have a new one that's coming up because Shopify has made some changes. And you, within that package, you will get access to that one because that'll help answer some questions versus you paying for a bunch of one-on-one sessions. And I kind of lead you in the right direction. The way, when you set it up with me, you're able to set it up and there is no time limit in how long you have to set it up. Whereas like if you go straight through them, now they have one, I think it's like 120 days or something like that. But it's still like wasting your free days. You'll still be able to take advantage of those if you take the time to set your site up. You'll be able to ask questions. You'll have so many sessions where we can kind of go over and look at certain things. And, you know, you'll fill in stuff. I can always take a look at it because I have access to it. And once you are ready to launch, you are able to launch. And within those free days, you're not losing out because you were trying to figure it out and set it up. On those free, like that free month or 3 months, instead of paying $29, you don't have to worry about that. So you're not losing $29 for that month or that 3 months, like each month, because it's free. So you're really able to take advantage of those free days while your site is live, and not, okay, it takes me 2 months to set up my website. I really only have 1 month of free service, if that makes sense. So I do help with it. You can contact me, the professor, at HSINK365.com to set that up. It is pricey. Not, well, sometimes it's pricey, but it's not like, okay, you're just gonna pay $29, because you're getting access to me for a certain number of sessions. It's also going to include the price for my Shopify class. That way you can refer to that when you're setting up. I'm not going to be on there with you like the whole time. It's a lot of stuff to set it up. But you do have certain sessions where we're going to go over which themes are going to work best for you, so you can choose your theme. When it comes to like understanding all the ins and outs, I'll kind of walk you through it. But that class that has the pre-recorded videos you can play back, that's where you're going to really, like, you yourself. I don't set up your site. I equipped you to be able to set it up and set it up properly. So many people that I've had to help on the back end, they've taken courses or whatever, their shipping was all messed up. They had the wrong shipping profiles. They're wondering why they're getting abandoned carts, because the shipping is set way too high. They're not weighing anything, or you are losing money because you have this unrealistic shipping amount on there. You're saying, okay, if your order is $100, people are giving away free shipping. Honey, why? Or if it's this amount, your shipping is only this. Who said when you go to ship that it's based off of a dollar amount? It's based off the weight. So you can have something that's very lightweight, but let's say it's really, really long, and you still only charge $25 for it. But to ship it, because it's going in a box, is going to probably cost you double what you quoted them. So why not have the system set that up for you? Like, I don't understand when people don't do that. People not knowing stuff about invoicing, or even just having gift cards. I help more people who have incorrectly set up their Shopify, because most people don't value when I'm saying, okay, yeah, there's a price to it. I'm probably going to get more money from you on the back end, because you're going to have to pay me more to fix all this stuff, versus you just starting with me and getting it done right the first time, because I'm there to help you along the way. I charge more to fix other people's problems. Yes, at Shakia the Professor, that is me. Let's see. I'm also second guessing my 7820. I have yet to convert it because I can't get the chips to stay attached and stay on. I'm going to order a set from you, and maybe I will keep it. So we ended up, and I'm now starting to think that maybe somebody sent us like back some wrong ones, but we've only had like really maybe 1 or 2 where it did not stay on. And that same chip, when I switched it to a different clip, it actually stayed on. So you can take the chips and put them on a different clip. And it's not necessarily the chips, it's the little prongs on the clip is not holding it. Like, they were either cut the wrong way and stuff like that. So maybe once you do order a set of chips, those chips you can, like the chips you can still use, because you can put it on the new clip. I love my 16650 Eco Tank. Unfortunately, it's been 16500. Yeah, it's been discontinued, but no line clog so far. I got it for less than $1,000 at the time. The new printers are definitely $1,000 easy. Yes, they're both actually $1,000 now. So the 16600 is right at $1,000, and the 16650 is $1,100. Oh, y'all can't see my shirt? I posted a picture earlier today. It's my Incredible Boss Moves. I actually posted a picture today. I made this shirt on live 2 years ago. 2 years ago? Yeah. 2 years ago, I made this shirt on live. I made this during our first HS Inc. Awareness Month. Well, then it was Silaholics Anonymous Awareness Month. I want to learn how to create my own business logo and my own business cards. Can I do that easy with Silhouette Studio? You can, right? Why do you want to create your own? What is it about? Is it just because the creator in you feels like I can create all things? I'm trying to save money. Do you have an actual logo? What is it about it that makes you want to create your own? And when you say create your own, are you designing them only and also trying to print them in-house, or will you send them off to a printer? Oh, wait, you say you want to create your own business logo. Okay, so you don't have a logo. Depending on what it is that you want to do. Our logo technically is very simplistic, right? In how it's set up. It's just standard words. For me, it was about the type of font that I was using. I wanted things like, okay, it's the same font as here. It was things like how the M is spread out to where I can put my drop in there. It was things like how it filled up certain spaces. So it's things like that that will play into a logo, right? I don't have printers. I don't have ink bottles. I don't have a picture of paper. I don't have no splashes and no this and no that like in it. I don't have no, like, what is it like? Oh, I said heat press. I don't have my silhouette. Like, it's a logo. I can do so. I can print this. I can use it digitally. I can go and have this converted to where I can have embroidered shirts. I can cut it from vinyl. I can shrink it down. I have a version where they're side by side. I can shrink it down. I can have promotional items such as pins because I have an effective logo. This is something that I can trademark, and I can truly build a brand off of it. When we go and we have all these other things in there, some things you are not going to be able to actually trademark. And you don't have to have all these things. Now, let's say like this, you wanted your logo to go intertwine and stuff like that. Depending on how you want it to look, you definitely can design it yourself if you have that creative nature and you learn the tools of Silhouette Studio. If not, you may want to have someone make your starter. It's okay to not be married for a lifetime to your logo. You can go and either create it and it's y'all just dating. You're going to serve a purpose. And then I might get married to somebody, a different logo. And you may not divorce it, but let's renew our vows based off of the fact that we are grown and sexy now. So let's reevaluate this and just kind of approach this from a more mature business owner. Because some of y'all, as beginners, baby, them logos, oh, Jesus, those are graphics. Those are not logos. They're definitely graphics. And yeah, all the ones with your face, like you're somebody famous, doesn't make you stand out more on Instagram. It doesn't make it look better when you have, matter of fact, the freakiest thing I've ever seen was this one girl. She had her logo and it was pretty much her face. So, when they say do your watermarks. So it is, the opacity is down, but when you look at it, her eyeball, I was like, oh, hey. I have a very crazy imagination. I don't watch scary movies. I will have nightmares. I made a mistake and watched Snakes on a Plane. Baby, I thought snakes was coming out of vacuum cleaners, some of everywhere, coming out my ears. Like, I don't watch scary movies at all because my imagination will go crazy when I'm sleeping. Her logo gave me nightmares because it was like right smack dab in the middle, and you see her picture, but all you see is her eyes. It sent me. Oh Lord, I was mad as hell at her because I literally had nightmares about her eyes peering at me. So I'm not big on the whole face type things. Where it literally is just your face and you just just made it a cartoon. There are ones that work like Pet Boys, right? It's a vector image of someone's face. Toys R Us's logo was not, but their mascot was, Jeffrey the giraffe. And there are times where that was included with it. but it was like vectorized. It's not like they took a real picture of a giraffe and just put like a little filter on it. So there are ways to incorporate like faces and things, but normally that's in like making where something vector and not just a filter. So it just depends on what type of logo you want. You definitely can create your very first one if you want it just to identify your name, and you can be committed to something later on and like really making it where it's something that you can trademark and brand around, especially with your colors. It's an eco tank. You're going to have variations of colors. Your colors are not going to be as they should, like as they appear. You're going to have a lot of tones that are going to come out darker. My logo does that. I have a picture that I post that shows that comparison of the two, printing from an eco tank printer versus printing from a workforce printer that uses pigment ink. So it is definitely your printer. There is no really what's the best. It's you have to weigh the pros and cons and determine which one's going to be best for you. Really, right now, no printer is to me the best one to convert. I missed out on the Zoom and want to know what's the best printer to use your ink. Like I said, workforce printers or the 16600, 16650 will give you the most accurate colors. Our ink will work with any eco tank printer, but it's not anything with our ink. No one, and I do mean no one, can ever tell you that their ink is formulated for an eco tank, because you can't make this type of ink look like dye ink. There is no way of doing it. When they say it's for eco tank, it's just because they have the eco tank bottle. I'm no shade, not trying to hate, but it's just not possible. Like you can create color profiles for like monitors to make them match, but you can't make something that's pigmented mimic something that is dye based, because it's just different. Dye based yellow ink looks like food coloring. It's like it looks orange, whereas the Sublimation ink looks yellow. It's not going to work. So we have it. It's keyed. You can use it. Do understand that you're going to have some color variations on certain things. And for pictures of people, they're going to look reddish. They're going to have a red overtone because magenta is very aggressive on any printer. Okay, save money, print, design in-house. You are not saving money by printing in-house. If you print in-house, so what you're going to do. The paper is going to cost you way more money. Then let's say if you just print it onto sheets, you're going to spend time cutting it because you probably only have a paper trimmer. You might have spent a little bit of money and have a guillotine cutter where you can maybe cut more than one. But if you don't have it where the bar is going to keep that, so where when you cut the paper, you ever notice you cut multiple sheets, it slides. So if it's not there to where you can have something and hold in place and cut it, you're probably going to end up where they're not quite straight. Like all of them, as you put them together, some might be a little bit off. Are you familiar with how to set them up to where you can just cut off the end and then set it up to where you're going to cut off the, like in the sections, right? How many do you really want? Do you really want to sit there and cut out 100, 500 business cards? That's a task that is for someone else. You have a business to solve someone's problem, right? Something that they can't do. They can't make their own shirts. They don't have a heat press to make a shirt. They don't have a tumbler press, or they don't have heat tape and sublimation printers to make their tumblers. They're coming to you. Why take that? Like, that's not what your business is. You don't have the equipment to do business cards. You give that to another business. That frees you up to work on your business. Business cards are not your business, so let somebody else do it. If you want to design it, fine, so be it. That means you have to then get well versed on how they want it set up. Are they requiring a certain DPI? Do they require it to come in a certain program? Do they require a bleed? Do they, or just say hey, send it as is? They got it from there. It's a lot of different things when it comes to that setup. And they're going to print it on a digital printer, which is pretty much going to print that sucker out. It's going to be able to withstand cover stock. The average printer that you guys are going to have in home is not going to be able to handle cover stock, where it's not based off of 80 pounds. We're now talking points. It's heavier, and your printers can barely handle 80 to 100 pound paper. Definitely not going to be able to handle cover stock, which is a little bit thicker. It's going to print it. Most times they have the major machines, whether it's the one that's automatic for bigger print shops or for starter shops, they may have the one that's still manual. It's a crank. It's going to pull it down. It's going to go shoot. Then they will have to go and manually adjust the sizing on it, but they can get it done faster. And it's just shoo, 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 turn it sideways, shoo, shoo, shoo. Like, it's a lot faster. And you're only going to pay, it's probably a little bit different now. I was paying $35 for 500 business cards. Actually, I think now the company I was going to, I think you only get $250 now for that 35. But it's $35. You're going to spend more than that on ink, paper, and time. And it's still going to be flimsy. So it's okay to design it. I do not recommend trying to print in-house yourself. Now, if you want to have some to pass the time over, some people will say, oh, I'll do the sublimation ones. You're still wasting time. You doing your own business cards takes you away from doing tasks that are going to make you money. Give them people them $35. The same way you want people to give you money for your business and what you specialize in, get them folk who specialize in printing out business cards, get them their coins, okay? I don't care if you got free ink. Pay them folk who specialize in doing business cards. Use your free ink to make you money, because if you got free ink, that's profit power. So if you're not paying for ink, it's 100% profit. Use your time to make things that's going to make you money, not business cards. That ain't making you no direct money. She says, girl in the sexy with your logo now. I am a beginner and just now starting out. I have a small budget. So what would be good printer that I can use? What size are you wanting to print? How small is your budget? The least expensive wide format printer is going to be the Workforce 7310. But over time, you're going to end up spending money. Hopefully you are making sales to pay for it, because you are going to have to buy replacement chips. A set of replacement chips on our website costs you $60 a pop. So that comes out to $15 per chip, but they are Excel. If you were to buy Excel cartridges directly from Epson, those are $30 a pop, $32 a pop. So it just depends. So the least expensive, 7310. It's a cartridge base. If you want a wide format EcoTank printer, the cheapest wide format EcoTank printer is $800. So, or $700 now. $700 might be now. I agree on the business cards. Exactly. All right. I don't know if numbers are going down because y'all aren't tapping the screen. No one over here is really asking questions. You guys are just enjoying the information, but you guys can definitely get in on the conversation, get some help. So feel free to ask your questions if you have questions over on TikTok. If not, I'm going to direct you guys over to my YouTube, because there's really no sense in staying here if you guys aren't active and engaged. I might as well just kind of focus over here, and you guys can filter your way over to YouTube or Facebook. They said, I agree. Well, of course you're going to agree. You do business cards, but no, I really say it's you want quality, and you don't want someone to feel like this is just printed on a regular piece of paper. Card stock can never compare to like what business cards feel like. So I just say, give it to a printer. Oh yes, you definitely can say that you do business cards. Yeah, you're good. All right, so I've reached what is like the last question over here. And I'm not sure if she says, I want a simple logo, nothing too overwhelming. If you did not get in on it, you kind of missed when I went through some ideas and tips and how to start with a text-based logo and then even make that pop. That class, unfortunately, is no longer available. It will never, ever come back. It was retired in 2022. We will have another one, but my complimentary small business, we went over that If you've taken any of my design classes, I do believe you are on day 7 of the 30-day challenge, the 30-day course for Learning Silhouette Studio. Everything that you need to create your logo, you will basically get within that class, within that training, because you're going to understand about resizing things. You're going to understand, like, if you need to crop something, you want it to be cut off, you want it to be intertwined with it. You're going to get all of the tools that you need to create that logo by the time you finish that course. Tell them again, simple is better. You probably just joined, but I actually mentioned that earlier. I was like, look, the things that the things that they create are not logos. Those are graphics. Illustrator is good, right? I've designed mine in Silhouette. Silhouette Studio is still a vector-based program. Good logos, timeless logos are created in vector-based programs and not bitmap programs like Photoshop, Affinity, Photo, and things like that. Even Procreate. Procreate is a bitmap. It has pixels. It's not vector. Good logos. And Silhouette Studio is a vector-based program, so you can do a lot. I've created so many of my concepts, and I've started them in Silhouette Studio, and I'll probably use like Illustrator. You can even use Corel Draw, things like that. But a good vector-based program is where you want to create a very effective logo at. What is the best printer for business signs on the building? On the building, or do you mean like on windows, like basically like adhesive vinyl? Because then that would be like your eco-solvent, solvent, or latex printers. You can start off like with us, we have a Roland, and then depending on how we want to grow, we can, of course, we're going to buy different types of printers, bigger printers. But an eco-solvent, solvent, or latex printer, if you're talking about putting vinyl and printed vinyl on doors and stuff, or if you want to do like full wall, window coverings and stuff, it's going to be some sort of eco-solvent, solvent, or latex printer. What is the best? I can't tell you what's the best. I've not used all of them. I only know what works for me. I am actually in a place where we have a lot of printers, and you guys probably have a lot of print shops in your local area. Most people tend to try and go straight to the internet. I can't tell you anywhere on the internet where you can get business. Well, I'm not going to say that. Like you have Vistaprint, you have, I think, the Sticker Mule do it. I'm not sure. I think it's another one. Office Depot, and Staples, they do business cards. I use a local print shop. So I go to Ace Printing here in South Florida for mine. And you probably have a print shop locally that can, that does that as well. Unfortunately, I don't have online ones. There's certain things I don't automatically go online to find them. I like supporting local when I can. Someone says you printing is good too. I have a Cameo and a Cricut. I have 6 Cameos, so I'm definitely team Cameo because I have 6, and I teach Silhouette Studio. Like literally, my entire cover sheet designed in Silhouette Studio. My logo, our labels. Now I made sure that color correction was done in Illustrator because our first batch, what was this the one? No, they actually used the old one because and that's the whole thing too. Like with picking out certain colors, you can see like here, it's a true yellow, right? Well, on this one, it came out green because I forgot what happened with this one. I set it up. It was something, but my yellow looks greenish on here where it's a true yellow here. But I designed it there, and then I just made sure that certain corrections were made to make sure that the color codes were there in Illustrator. But everything, our bottle, very, very. I was about to say something. I'm not going to say that because I don't feel like I'm talking about people's brands, but just straight to the point, not a lot of fluff. It is what it is. It has the name, what it does, and instructions on it or information on it. So designed, like I said, our labels, our business cards. I've done all of those in Silhouette Studio. All right. So I have not Saturdays, I normally don't check emails. This is not a regular work day for me. So I did not check emails because I went from a class, took a break, and then now I'm on here. So you said, if not, can you talk about print on demand shipping? What about print on demand shipping? For metal signs with pictures, it's still going to be the same thing. So even if if you're trying to print directly to the metal, then you're going to need a UV printer, and they are expensive depending on how big it is. You can get a flatbed printer, and it's going to be a UV printer. If you want to just put it on metal signs, and you can literally put vinyl onto it. A lot of the signs are actually like just vinyl on top, and it's the really low profile thin vinyl, not like thick 651. So that's still going to take an eco solvent, or latex printer. But if you're trying to print to it directly, it is going to be more like a UV type printer for printing directly to the sign. Doing business cards, including sublimation business cards, is not worth the time and effort for me. You have to price for your time as well. No one wants to pay $3 plus per card. Time is money, plus it's a headache. I absolutely pay to get my business cards made. Exactly. Hugs. Hello. Incredible evening, all 365. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining and commenting. Okay, wait. Canva. What about, let me go back up. So obviously I missed something. What about Canva? Oh, what to design in Canva? I mean, you can do certain things. Canva, you are limited in the resolution. So I'm not big on Canva. Canva was really made like it's a lot of elements in there that are like kind of digital stuff, and people will use it to create things like for their websites and like their social media and stuff like that. So the resolution for certain things, depending on how big you want to scale it, a lot of companies don't like it from programs like that. It is great because there are elements that are included in it and clip art, and you can do things like add glows. So it serves its purpose. But for me, I personally don't create designs in Canva, and I wouldn't create my logo in Canva or my business card layout in Canva. That's just me. Are you looking to get into detailed printing, or have you already? I will not be doing any detailed printing as far as providing transfers. Not an area that I want to specialize in at this current juncture. Maybe within the 5-year plan, if it's still, which I still think it will be trending, just like sublimation is here to stay. Like it's been around for forever, not going anywhere. But I have no desire to necessarily like do transfers or do detailed printing. We will be getting a DTG printer. I explained before as far as like why we want that one and how that is more beneficial to our business than doing DTF. Because if I did DTF, I'm going to need space. I do not want a system where I'm creating transfers one at a time. Don't get me wrong. It works for people, but I would not want to be able to like do that. If I'm going to do it, I'm at a position where I'm not a beginner in this business. So going and doing DTF and selling transfers sheet by sheet is a step back. I would rather have it to where I'm doing rolls of them, and I probably would not do like single sheet DTFs to where I'm going to take the time to print them out, and then I have to, there's no machine. So unless you're going to buy a machine and it's going to cut it for you, why would I want to pay staff and waste work hours to have someone sit there and cut down a bunch of prints? And if I want them to be uniform when they're being stacked and all of that, I have to go and cut those things down. That's just a waste of man hours for me and how I think of it. So if I did it, you're going to get a roll and it will be on you the same way when I ordered from this company. How FortiFlex does it is how I would do it. You're going to have to order a yard at a time, and we're going to give you that whole yard rolled up. That is your business, not mine, to go ahead and cut and separate them. I'm going to print, roll, and make it available for you to pick up. So I wouldn't necessarily do like transfer sheets, things like that. I have a couple of designs that people have asked about and how I design things, my protecting my piece design. I will end up getting screen print transfers because that company has a machine to print them. They're going to come to me all cut perfectly because they have big machinery to do it. Me, Not I said the cat. Get somebody else to do it. Vistaprint, Office Depot. She's been with us all day. I'm surprised she had time to eat and drink or go to the bathroom. I did though. I mean, you can't, well, you can, right? But if she says for outside of the buildings, so for UV protection, it's not going to give you that. So if you go and you sub it over time, if it's just sitting outside, it's going to turn colors. And then especially if it's in the heat, remember it can gas off. Of course, it's not going to get like to 400 degrees, but that UV will affect those things being out exposed to the elements. So I wouldn't necessarily do for that. You have to remember what she asked for. So have I done metal signs before? Yes, I've done license plates and things like that. But as far as like for business and for outside signage, I would not recommend it be sublimation. Also, if you're going to do sublimation, do you have a large format printer? Do you have you need two things. If you're going to do large sublimation signs, you need a large format printer. You're also going to need a large heat press to be more efficient with it versus trying to go and put it in sections, because that metal is going to get hot. So you're not going to be able to hold it the way that you would fabric or on a board and just press it in sections. When you have to piece it together, a soft substrate is totally different than a hard substrate. You're going to see that line of demarcation. If you don't tape it the right way, you're creating a space on a hard surface for it to gas out. You'll have like little like flyouts, and then like it'll be kind of blurred in sections. So depending on what size sign you're trying to make and things like that, sublimation is not going to be your best option. But if you go and you're just getting a vinyl print, you can either we use our laminator, but there is a way, get you a big squeegee, put it on there, or you can use the wet method, and it's less equipment that's needed for doing it that way. So you have to remember, like, in context of how you're trying to do these things to determine which print method is going to be the best. You're very welcome. What are your thoughts on buying extra equipment to offer DTF transfers? For me, I'm not, like, it doesn't work for me. If you have the space for it, if you like, you have to think about it's the DTF printer, it's the curing process. How many transfers can you really get out? What is going to be your turnaround time? What type of, do you want to be a business where you have like, okay, you can order from us, but we are a company where if you can wait 7-10 days, we can service you. Whereas I'm going to order from Florida Flex, I'm going to get my ish in 2 days. Like, I'm never going to look at a company, even if it's probably a better price point, if I got to wait 5 to 7 days to get my custom transfers from you, no, I'm going to go because I can get it locally and I can get it in 2 days. I just, you're going to have different customers. You have to think about where you're going to store everything. So it's like, are you going to have a conveyor where you can put your prints through and they can dry and they can cure through there, and you're not having to do them one by one? If you're just starting up, and if it's for you, there's nothing wrong with keeping your costs down and using like a convection oven to dry it, or having a heat press to hover over it. But if you only have one heat press while you're waiting for that to cure, you can't go and press something else. It just depends on your setup. So if you have the means to do it at the efficiency that you want to have this business at, you can definitely get it. It just doesn't work for me. Just the process in general, I don't feel the need to, like, my business does not need it. Is it lucrative for some people? Yes. Just continue to do your research. Think about the type of equipment. Think about the turnaround time. Ask real questions. Some of you guys ask some very, very vague questions, and you're never going to get the real answers because no one's really going to offer up the information. Now, maybe hopefully like in a class, like they don't want to say it publicly because maybe they have like sponsorships with people, but maybe in a class, they're a little bit more open about the inadequacies of some of these systems. And, if you want to produce high volumes of like transfers, this system really isn't going to work. Like, it prints slow. I tell you about my rolling. I don't care how many people you see on TikTok, got their little roller in the background. Ask them how much they could actually pump out in one day. Like, and then how much money are they actually, how much can it technically generate them in a day? I don't want to say it's like babysitting it, but if you're doing customs, a lot of them will make money because they have designs that are already set up. They don't have to worry about making sure that they add the cut lines. It's already there, and they're running off the same designs all the time. If you're doing custom ones, the setup for it, and then sending it, arranging it, and knowing how big or how wide it needs to be, you can end up wasting a whole bunch of vinyl because it doesn't quite fit on that 18 by 9. It's so many things to it. It prints slow as molasses. Like, it took me 6 hours to print 12 prints. 6 hours because of the size of them. It goes all the way across. It's omnidirectional. So it wasn't very efficient. Like, if I was relying on that to make money, that means that day I'm either going to have to charge someone an arm and a leg because they're taking up my printer the entire day, which means you're going to have to cover that cost, like taking up my time the entire day. I can't make any other money. Like, if I have an 8-hour work day, I'll have 2 hours to try and get out some other stuff because your job for 12 prints took up 6 hours. And then it cuts slow as molasses. So if you have a lot of cuts, Jesus, it's not that great. A lot of people don't talk about the inadequacies of some of these systems. And from everything, all the research that I have done, I want no parts of printing DTF transfers. When we get our DTG printer, there will be an anti-slip mat if we want to do DTF prints, but they will not be for transfers. What's the DTF company name again? So I personally use Florida Flex. They're here in Miami. They're in like the Medley type area. There's another young lady. She has the big one. I have to get her actual business information, but she's in South Florida as well. Nikki, but I have to get her official like information and to put that out there. But I use Florida Flex. WD My Cloud. WD My Cloud. I just answered your question. Big hugs. Grateful to have your professor level wisdom, friendship throughout the past years. I know you've been rocking with me for a while as well. Incredible evening, Professor and 365 family. She says, get somebody else to do it. Thanks for the cons of the printing transfer side. Which machine was I talking about? The one that prints slow? I have a Roland BN20, not the A. I have a regular Roland BN20. I got it to be able to print things like mainly adhesive vinyl. I don't really print HTV transfers with mine. Oh, so the DTG machine, we are getting one. I don't have it now. No, I'm not getting an Epson one. You guys will see the one that we get, but no, I am not getting an Epson DTG machine. All right, so it's 7 o'clock. I said I was gonna be off at 7:08. I talked right past that. I gotta go. It's gonna be the last one. What would be your choice if you wanted to offer color designs but want to use cotton and black garments, however you don't want to do vinyl? I'm going to order DTF transfers because I have a local company that can get them for me in 2 days. So I'm going to design it. I'm going to send it to them and let my customer know that the turnaround time is 2 days. I'm going to order DTF transfers. I mean, until we have like our DTG printer. Now, DTG printer will allow you to do those things. And that's kind of what we want to have. That's more so for one-offs. If it is like a really, really large order, I'm going to always opt to get screen print transfers in bulk, or I'm going to get DTF prints, or you can get a hybrid print. There are certain companies that basically do a digital print, and then they put screen print ink on the back and then put the powder. So it's a faster turnaround for like full color designs, and it's a lot more affordable. So if it's like a really, really big order, like when I had to do 300 shirts for a school, I'm not doing it on my DTG printer. let me get these transfers. Go ahead and take your little 5 days to produce them and get them to me. And I'm going to press them in 7 seconds. 7 seconds is a lot faster than what it'll take the DTG printer to print it. And then I would have to pre-treat, like even with DTG, no method is without work. DTG is great in that, okay, hey, it's going to print directly to the shirt. But you also have the pre-treat side of it. And are you trying to save points to where you're going to have the DIY pre-treat where you spray and you use a roller to go up and down the shirt? Once you put the pre-treat on it, you then have to dry that shirt. You can use the heat press method, but because it's almost like when you imagine this, you take you take something, it has fluid or liquid on it, or it's like moist, and you go and put your iron to it, you know, that little funky smell and like all that smoke and all that stuff, you're pretty much doing the same thing to this, and it's not really fully like drying. So the best thing to be would be like a regular screen printer and have a conveyor belt. So it's still some work. And it's a lot more money to get an automatic pre-treater, and that can like pre-treat it in certain areas. It will regulate like how much pre-treat goes down based off the design that you're going to put on there. Is it light? Is it dark? Even with white shirts, you still have to do a pre-treat for that ink, that DTG ink to stick to it. So it's a lot to that as well. Whereas like with DTF, you don't need to pre-treat it, but you have to powder it. You cannot be someone that's trying to do, to me, DTF does require you to monitor your prints. If you are somebody that's doing DTF, you're doing sublimation, you're doing this, and you're going to get distracted, if that print dries before you get that powder on there, go ahead and ball it up and throw it in the trash, boo. Because it requires the ink to be wet for that powder to stick to it. Once it's dry, you just wasted a whole bunch of ink and you wasted film. Okay. So there's pros and cons to everything. A lot of people don't. How many of you guys have really heard people talk about wasting prints and really talking about that side because they got distracted and it dried and they could not? Or if it's a small design, it's printing out, it's you by yourself, you trying to work it and put the powder on it. Then you got to go and put it over here in the convection oven. So by then the next one don't print it out and you didn't get to it in time because they printing out so fast. And or when it went across it, did it smear it? Like there's a lot of factors to consider when doing this that most people don't talk about. Yes, Fortiflex is who I used. But yeah, for me, it's going to be either my DTG printer when we get it. It's going to be DTF transfers, screen print transfers, and I have someone that I could technically order white toner transfers from. Although for me, I don't really look at white toner for shirts. Does it work okay for it? Yes, but I want my white toner for something different. My magenta is printing with lines in it. I have followed your YouTube video, but it's still doing it. Do I keep pulling air out? So it depends on what type of lines. Questions like that, guys, is where you need to take a picture and post it in the group. Let me see your verify your print settings. Did you get a paper mismatch error and you probably hit the wrong thing to where now it is printing on plain paper standard instead of what your preset was? There's a lot of different factors that can affect it. I won't know that and to know exactly what the issue is until you send me a picture. If it is that when you do your nozzle check, you have a bunch of broken lines and you've done those a couple times and it's still not cleared, it might be your cartridge. So the next thing would be to try a new set of cartridges, or maybe even go, if you're using a cartridge-based printer, put a set of actual genuine Epsons and see if it clears it up. If it does, that lets you know that it's something with the cartridges themselves that you were using. Get a new set of cartridges. It can be a couple different things. Like there's no one straight answer. I need to know more information about what's going on with your printer. All right, so you guys had another hour, almost 2 hours of my time. I gotta go. Okay. Want to get home by 8 o'clock. Go hit up Popeyes and go get me some chicken. And I will talk to you guys most likely on Wednesday. Won't be Monday. Kind of going back into my, I holler at you on Wednesday, unless it's a video that I need to do for my student union or like an exclusive video. I probably will see you guys on Wednesday, because Wednesday is my let's go live all damn day type situation. How long can you keep your ink? Well, I would hope that you are booked and busy and blessed and prosperous to where, baby, that ink is gone in a month, honey. You are going through a whole bottle a month, maybe a bottle every 2 months, but the shelf life of it is really, there's really none. But to be on the safe side, we say 18 to 24 months, but it really isn't. If your ink is sitting for 18 months, if your ink is sitting for 6 months or a year, need you to up how many prints you doing, and that means you need to work on your marketing if it's for a business. But there really isn't a shelf life. We say 18 to 24, but it's ink. It's not gonna harden. Okay, I'm leaving right behind you. All right. Do you have a print to HTV preference? I don't really print to HTV vinyl. As far as being a vendor, I don't really have. There's quite a few people that are doing eco-solvent transfers. They have converted an Epson printer and they are selling the eco-solvent transfers. Whole lot of people that do that. Although we have an Epson printer, a rolling printer, I will not be offering HTV transfers. I can't stand them. My husband doesn't really like reading them either. We like, see this one right here. Okay, so now if you've been on here before, don't answer. Shirt 1. Shirt 2. One is an eco-solvent to HTV. One is Jet Pro 3G. Which is which? One shirt is 2 years old. One shirt is about 3 months old. No, you cannot answer. One is Jet Pro, 2 is Eco. Okay. All right. Someone says the black is HTV. The first one is eco-solvent. Okay. So for me, for the most part, I never got into I wasn't blown away by, oh my gosh, you can do printable HTV. Other than I wanted to make, if I did anything with printable HTV, I wanted to print pattern sheets, and that's it. You have the pattern value and you can just cut it and put it on there. That's what if I did anything with HTV, it would be that. But I've never had an issue with using Jet Pro 3G for dark colors. I even use it on white shirts. If I'm using on white shirts, black shirts, I use Jet Pro 3G. I've never had an issue with it. So I can the eco-solvent to HTV wasn't this game changer for me, because my colors still pop 2 years later. So yes, the one that is here, this one is Jet Pro. So this was printed with my regular Epson printer, my regular Epson 7720 with my HS ink pigment ink in it. And this is 2 years old. Colors have never, ever changed. For me, I don't feel like it's this heavy situation. Now, I guess because it's such a big print, I'm not sure if that's what gave it away for you guys, that you can somewhat, actually, you can't even really see it the way I held it up, but you can see like from where it was in the wash. Whereas this one, you can somewhat see it, but not as much. But for me, I had no issue using Jet Pro. With these, of course, it transfers a little bit easier because the masking tape actually sticks to this vinyl, so it will transfer better. But I'll still use like this for dark or colored shirts. And it also prints out faster. This takes forever. Like if I only had to do one of these, it would suck using my rolling because it takes forever to print, because it goes the full 20-inch span and then comes back and then prints, because it's unidirectional. It's not omnidirectional or bidirectional. So it sucks. But this is, to me, let me pull a little closer for y'all. Sound the same. It still got that crunchy, loud, wearing a shower cap while you sleep feel. Like it's vinyl. You're gonna still hear it. People say it feels lighter. If you say so, this still, it doesn't matter which vinyl you use. This is a topical product on top. So it's vinyl. It's not breathable. You're not feeling that through there. So no air is getting in. So if you put a really big design on there, it's going to be just as hot as this one. But that's when you know your printing method. Really no difference. Exactly. So the Eco Solvent one, I do have a Roland BN20. I did this for my sister. It's not something that I would do. I hate changing out the vinyl for that one. I really can't stand, like, it doesn't feed through because it's so thin. I absolutely hate feeding HTV through my Roland. I cannot stand it. Adhesive vinyl, put it on there. You can use your hand, slide it, it goes in. This ish drives me nuts. Yeah, so it's gonna be Jet Pro for me, or you can order Eco Solvent transfers. A lot of people that do them via the converted printers for Eco Solvent transfers. She said shower cap. She said 3G fan for years. 3G fan here for years. Exactly. So I would go with Jet Pro for my dark colors. Yeah, the only thing is, like, if you had small parts like this where they're separated, there is no real transfer sheet. What I use for mine, if I do have loose pieces, I'll use heat tape. And we sell 6-inch heat tape, 3-inch heat tape, and I will put those down. They pick up Jet Pro better, but you also have to prep it. So you have to get underneath, like whichever way you're going to pull it, you got to go under there with your spatula and lift it from the pressure sensitive paper. Put your heat tape on top. It will all transfer as one. But if you just put it down, it's not going to pick it up. Of course I do. I've been doing this for 7 years. Of course I have a video on Jet Pro. Got quite a few of them, actually. As a matter of fact, quite a few of them. Oh, well, duh. It does say October 2022. That was kind of a dead giveaway that this was the 3-month-old shirt. Okay. What size paper can you buy? So I buy 11 by 17. They do have a roll, and with all Epson printers, you can print up to 47 inches long. But if you're doing print and cut, you're really limited to 24 inches if you're using the matte, which you should be. So you can technically do 11 by 24 if you get the roll, but I buy 11 by 17 inch sheets. I wouldn't buy anything other than that because I use a Cameo. I can't do print and cut on 13 by 19 paper. So 13 by 19 would be wasted on me. Hey sis, it's Shay. I need to get with you on some large UV stickers. Let me know when you are free. Just inbox me. I still answer inbox up to a certain time on the weekend. If it's on Sunday, I will not talk to you. I'm gonna put you on ignore and pause. But I'm just being real. If you send it though, I'll definitely reach out on Monday to get like further detail. But if you can kind of send me a message about what they potentially will be and how many, then I can assist. I use Florida Flex. I have researched local resources. There is a couple places on Amazon that sells it. There are other vendors. I want to say, but then you also have like I heard StarCraft's version is really good too. There are quite a few sites that have it, but I get mine from Florida Flex. I get mine from Florida Flex. Florida Flex serves a lot of my needs. Yeah, so she says she buys a 13 by 19, but she has a larger cutter to accommodate. Yeah, so I don't get them in that size. Your chip resetter is so bomb and it came quickly. Yay. All right, y'all. Let me get off of here. I know I'm about to go. Thank you guys for making this an amazing first live weekend live of 2023-65. Don't forget to visit our website. If you have not tried, like at least try it out. We don't have to be your paper of choice, you know. The same way in your closet, you probably have Nike, Adidas, Pumas, Crocs, Chucks, Timberlands. It is okay to have other paper in your arsenal. So if you have not tried out our products, you know, you never know if there is something out there better if you haven't tried something else. I got a whole bunch of paper where I tried it out and homie, I don't even like it. That's why I took it and I turned it into a whole business opportunity and I started selling sample packs of other brands so you can test them out to see which ones you really wanted. I don't do that no more because we just don't. Why try out the rest when you got the best? Oh, that rhymes. Oh gosh, I'm a whole poet out here. But if you haven't tried our product, go to the website. We have a sample pack available. You're going to make yourself mad with the sample pack. I'm telling you, it's affordable. It's $20. $20.30 is how much the 8.5 by 11 costs. The 8.5 by 14 is $23.65, I think, or $25.63. It got $3.65 in there somewhere. So you can try that out as well. And I know ink is a little bit harder to like say, okay, I want to try the ink. Unless you have a cartridge-based printer, it's a lot easier to try different inks if you have a cartridge-based printer because you can get a cartridge with just that ink and then you can print from one and compare. Ask me how I know because I did that when it came to our inks. Y'all should have saw me. I was doing test prints, changing out inks, have to flush it all out, doing the next one so I can compare colors, see how this color comes out. So you can try out inks if you have a workforce printer. EcoTank's, of course, a little bit different because you can't drain it. I will say this. If you have ink, black ink, and it's like that rusty brown color, go and get you a couple bottles and tell your blacks will thank you. Okay? You're not going to have all that brown stuff. Y'all see how I am about stuff. I helped formulate this. I combined. Ain't no doodoo brown ink over here, okay? What most of these come, or you like, I'm really loyal to the people. If they got the ink for the 8550, you want to order the photo black, but stop buying that old brown. I don't even know why they still selling it. They should stop selling it. There's no such thing as photo black. It's only one type of black. It's black sublimation ink. Either it's going to be the brown stuff, which is the old school stuff, or the formula that your girl helped create that now a couple of these vendors that they buy their stuff from, because damn near all of us probably get it from the same person. They took my formula and made it into photo black ink. Yeah, we're going to talk about that though, because that was one of the talking points is, wait a minute. And that's why I was encouraged to sell my ink because they were like, wait, Shakia, hold up now. That last ink I had, baby, they were brown. They looked like whole, like something rusted. Girl, what you got going on? Because I used to sell pre-filled, pre-primed, what are things called? 252s. So we used to order big bottles of it, and we pre-filled all of our ink cartridges. And it was like, well, Shakia, okay, look, you sold me pre-fills, and I ain't never seen no black like that before. And you want me to go back and buy that brown stuff? Girl, lies you tell. So that turned into me, releasing a true black ink. It's changed a little bit because before it had too much of a purplish, bluish undertone, but it definitely ain't that rusty brown. And baby, let me see what I have. This Sublimation. Plain paper satin, honey. Plain paper. Wait, not this one. Let's see. Okay, here go some with black. Look, great. Plain paper satin. You see them blacks? I ain't have to use premium matte. Them blacks is popping. Look at that black on there. Look at that black on there. That black is something serious. Now, this black over here, we look very, oh, look, you can even see. See, okay, so look, I'm going to change my filter for y'all. But y'all over here, look. Y'all do see the fact that there is brown tones to this, right? Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? That black is not blacking. They didn't use, honestly speaking, big difference in that black. That it under light, it look brown. This right here, black. Okay. See. Look at that. Oh, see, hold on. Let me help y'all out real quick. Let me turn this filter off for y'all think your girl over here lying in these streets. Girl, I ain't got no reason to lie. I ain't got to lie, Craig. Big difference in the color. That's a real black. Boom. It's a real black. Now I got to go back over here because it just makes the skin pop a little bit different. All right. Yes, with ours, you put this black in your photo black, in the regular black reservoir and the black. We actually have quite a few people who when we had just the 4 colors and they had the 8550. You really don't need the gray unless you're going to do a lot of black and white. It does not help your other colors, and you really don't need it in the photo black tanks, but I recommend putting it there because it can help your blacks a little bit better. But yes, you're just going to put this black in both reservoirs, and you really can omit the gray. We're going to actually discontinue the gray. We are not going to carry the gray once what we have is gone. And I'm really thinking about just writing it off and just chucking it because it's kind of pointless. It really is pointless. Blackity black. Amen. I did respond back. I responded back today because I asked, were you just wanting the file or did you want me to make a paddle? Because if you just want the file, you have been in too many of my classes, but check the email. I did respond back. I happened to see that one. I'm on Florida Flex, but I don't see Jet Pro. Okay, look, Sparky, I'm just going to check this real quick. I'm going to get off. I promise. I'm going to get off. I'm going to go to Popeyes. Give me a second. Okay, wait. Florida Flexible. Florida Flex. Let's go to their website. And we're going to go to hold on. Dye block, sublimation, principal vinyl eco solvent, light, heat sensitive, reflective, principal HTV. Okay, so no, it's definitely not in that section. I'm gonna tell you where it's, there it is. Inkjet transfer paper. All right, let me pull this over here. I'm gonna show you exactly where I went at for it. And let me turn y'all around. Hold on. Hold up. Wait. Let's go share screen. Okay. So under, oh wait, I gotta flip y'all in case y'all want to see it over here. Flip camera. All right, there we go. Let me move this water before it, you get your way from my brand new, my brand spanking new, what this thing called? Keyboard. Because baby, you based on here with this little good keyboard I have, Houston, we gonna have a problem. All right, so you go to where it says ink transfer paper. I don't think it's not going to say Jet Pro. It's the one that they have. Yeah, I don't think it says, does it say Jet Pro? I don't know, but I just know that that's the one that they have. So you have here the ones for lights, and I might be under, okay, wait. So ink transfer, darks and lights. Oh, see, no, it does. Jet Pro 3G ink transfer paper for darks. So home. You're going to go from here. You're going to go vinyl and more. You're going to come down to where it says inkjet transfer paper. And you're going to scroll down to Jet Pro. All right. That's where they are. This one's actually pretty good too. They gave me a sample of this. And it's actually pretty good. This one that they have, it's more of a printable HTV. It has its moments as far as it picking up on the transfer tape, but it actually feels really good. So they have this one that can be put in inkjet printers as well. Go check out the video. It is listed on the video. Go. That'll give you the answers that you need, but also get me another view on there. It's on my Auntie Speaking channel. It's listed there. So glad I joined at the perfect time. We'll watch the replay. Amazing paper, hands down. Night, Jesse. I'm gonna go. What's a good heat press for a small business to start out with for large, medium, small shirts? You can't add, if you're looking for a cheaper printer or like a less expensive one. I've been in this game too much to know about printers heat presses going out. If you're trying to build a business and you want to be in for the long haul, you're never going to hear me recommend some of like the Amazonish type ones or like really cheapy ones, because there's so many elements that can go out about it. So I'm always going to recommend things like Heat Press Nations, Signature Press, the Waller Press, and companies that you're going to get warranties and things on. There's a lot of companies that have them, but I'm just one. Heat presses are that's a big investment. So I'm always going to go with a company where you can have some type of insurances and warranties. So Waller Presses from Heat Press, Heat Transfer Warehouse, Heat Press Nation has their signature. There's also Stalls. You don't have to get the Hotronics Fusion IQ. They have like the Max Press. They have their standard auto presses and manual presses. So those are ones that I basically recommend, are ones that it's quality made. When I did my sublimation class, anyone that knows, it took my sublimation seminar, I broke it down by the heating elements, and knowing that quality companies have good, like evenly distributed heat, and not where you're going to have a bunch of cold spots. So once I learned how heat presses were made, I could never get a economy heat press for what I want to do in business. All right. So she says, I gotta go. All right, I gotta keep us on schedule because you and I both like to talk all day. Yes. Awesome. No, I know I went up. I know you only did. I went up. So now I'm about to get off. All right. Oh, wait, last question. This is a good one. Which one of your courses do you recommend for beginner in silhouette? For silhouette, there's only one course. It is the 30-day training. It gives you everything that you will need as far as understanding the tools, the functions of them. Is it about designing? No, it is about understanding the software. Understanding the software, where things are located, understanding what each tool does. So it's not about designing. If you want to then do designing, that's where the design courses come in at. One of the best ones is like the text effects or memorial, because it kind of gives you a little bit of text as well as utilizing elements. My vector class, really great with like text and shapes and things like that when you want to learn how to create things yourself, but you have to start with understanding the tools. In my classes now, I don't break down tools because that's what 30-day training is for. So definitely start with the essentials of Silhouette Studio. Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. All right. We don't think you lying. I know, but you gotta just, yes, of course, marketing. Jet Pro 3G opaque, or just some places will just say Jet Pro 3G, but it's any of the names. Jet Pro 3G opaque. What you want to stay away from is Jet Pro 2. Don't use that one. Oh Lord, your colors will come out so crazy after a while. It will fade and change. I know. Y'all better run out here and get you one of these. What's that? Damn, a chicken salad. It's HS Ink, baby. Y'all better go get y'all one of these. All right, y'all, I got to go. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity, be incredible, and don't forget to visit hsink365.com. You can still get the playback of that. I'm telling y'all, it's $23.65. And if you hesitated thinking, how much value can I really get? Other people charging like for this and it's the bomb information. They charging hundreds of dollars. You don't know what you missed by not being there live, but you can still catch the playback and apply all of the gems. Yes, for $23.65. It is absolutely worth it. 3 hours, 3 of straight fire the whole time. Even when we took a break. Well, they were supposed to be taking a break to go to the bathroom, but they ain't moved. That's just how captivated I had them. They ain't moved. They did not move. And then didn't want to leave at the end. I had to kick them folk out. That's just how bomb that $23.65 course was. So if you were looking at it thinking, this must be some beginner stuff, I don't need it, because if it was that much value, why is she only charging $23.65? Because I care about you. Hit up the website when you get off of this live and go check it out. Watch the replay. All right, y'all. Peace. See, look, Sparky, look, now you, I'm over here trying to work sales, okay? So don't be fussing at me because somebody asks what's $26. It's really $23.65. So you're gonna even save a couple of coins because the price is wrong. You got it's $23.65. Now, if you're in Florida, you're gonna have to pay them taxes on that sucker. So it might come out like 26. That's just like $25.63. I think when you put the tax on, it shows it backwards. Oh Lord, jeez, my eyeball is itching. Let me go ahead and just put you up on game real quick before I get off. Because see, I ain't gonna turn down no money, girl. You want to find out about this bomb course? I'm gonna let you know, okay? Where it's at. She's saving us coins. Exactly. She was like, couldn't leave. Exactly. They could not leave. Don't listen to the naysayers. I'm telling y'all, it's bomb. I'm getting it mad. My appointment got canceled and I could have attended live. She says, I got your back. Get your coins, sis. I know, right? So if you missed it on our website, oh wait, I didn't even do comment. Hold on. Okay, wait, flip camera. And okay, there we go. Boom. I gotta change this. We no longer ship on Saturdays. I gotta change that. I just noticed that. So you're gonna scroll down up under these right here is the what's the plan $23.65. You're gonna click on. Now I will say this. Let me first go to here, and then I gotta kind of, because then y'all see my back end and y'all knows it ain't none of y'all business. Okay, go to dashboard. All right, boom. Now, I highly recommend that if you've never taken a course with me, that you go to 365 Creative Academy and you create your free account. It's going to make it so much easier. Then, like, once you create your free account over here, it's just going to make it a whole lot easier. As soon as you check out on the website, it's going to immediately be in your dashboard under your courses. And this is and you're going to hit start course. I'm actually about to change it. I'm going to have the playback link on there. The broken down sections will be uploaded soon, but there is a link that's going to take you to the playback. I have to now upload. I put that link on there. I'm going to do that before I leave the office, but you're just going to hit start course. It gets you access to my student union. Like I said, the Zoom class is over, of course, so you don't click on that. You can go here and get access. Oh, shoot now. We finna change. Oh, damn it, Shakia. I'm finna change the password. Lord, I just realized I just showed y'all. Y'all gonna look. Don't join, because, baby, you're gonna have to go back in there. I'm finna change that password right now that you got to put on. Lord, I can't believe I actually clicked on that. Jesus. Don't try and join. I'm not approving anybody that got the old password. I'm about to go change that sucker right now. But you can click on that and you'll be able to watch the playback of it and any of them. So it'll immediately show up on your dashboard. Oh no, you may not have seen it now, but you damn sure go back and watch it and screenshot it and write it down. So it's gonna get changed. It's gonna get changed. But you're going to go over to the site. If you bypass setting up your free account, if you don't have one, when you set it up here, you will get a confirmation email, and then you're going to get another email directly from the site, which is your Express login. Check your spam folder, because you have to go through that to complete your registration and set up your password. That one sometimes can take a couple of minutes, up to 30 minutes to send it to you. So just keep refreshing and checking your spam or your all mail for the Express login. But if you create the account here first and you use the same exact email address on this one, it's just going to show up in your dashboard. If you've already taken a class with me, as soon as you buy it, it's going to show up on your dashboard. Okay. I actually have not done any. There was a couple of sites before, and I've had some from like Johnson's classes. I'm not sure of the Blank Spot. I want to say, I think they have some journals. Go check out the Blank Spot. They may have like the notebooks. I don't really do those, so I'm really not sure exactly. I know there's some on Amazon too, but check out the Blank Spot first. If not, check out Amazon and Johnson's Classics Plus. And you can use my code on Johnson's for 15% off. All right. But this is, if you missed it, you want to catch the playback. I'm telling y'all, so many gems right here. Okay. And check back for the code, because I'm about to change it. All right, y'all. This time, for real, I'm not even going to come back to my face. I shall talk to you guys later. Until next time. Peace.